Well, it's time for my second review of my Creality Falcon2 22-watt laser. And I'm really looking forward to this part now that the preliminaries are out of the way. I'm going to do a number of things with this test. Creality says that this laser will color stainless steel. So I bought two small pieces of 1mm thick stainless steel, and we're going to see if we can get some color out of this stainless. I've done an awful lot of research, so cross your fingers. I'm also going to show you and talk about the enclosure that was included in the combo package that I got, and we're going to talk. I'll show you how easy it is to put together. We'll talk about the smoke extraction capabilities of it, good, bad, ugly, whatever. And I'm also going to try to use the rotary device if I can get the laser up high enough. Like I said before, it didn't come with extender legs, and the 4 extra ones I got are only that tall. Well, the mechanism itself is about yay tall, so we'll see what we can do there. I may have to set the laser up on some pieces of 4x4. Who knows? I'll figure something out. The last part of the review is how well it's going to engrave and cut the special material I'm going to use for a layered project that I designed. I spent nearly all of one day designing this project, so I hope it turns out nice. And we'll see, and I'll let you see that. So those are some of the things that we're going to be dealing with today. This is going to take several days, maybe several weeks. But anyway, we'll get there, because a lot of the material has to be milled and all of that stuff. First things first, let's get to the laser with the stainless steel and see what we can do there. So check this out. I've got my parameters set in Lightburn for this material test. And that's what this is going to be. This is going to be a material test. It's going to cut, no, it's not going to cut anything. It's going to engrave 10 squares by 10 squares using a variety of power and speed settings. Based on some research that I've done, my minimum speed is 1200 millimeters a minute, maximum is 5400. My minimum power is 20%, my maximum is 50%. So let's see what that does. If I don't like it, I can always turn it over and do the other side. So it's framed, looks good. Let's start. It says this is going to take about 36 minutes, so I'll be fast forwarding this. All right, we'll frame it one more time. I almost forgot to set my thickness. That would have been hysterical, wouldn't it? Okay, frame looks good. Let's start. Still going, but I must say, this is impressive. Look at that wide range of colors. Wow. And it's not done. Crazy. And it's done. I need to shift that a little bit, so I'm going to try something else, and then I'll run another test. But this just lets you know, yes, you can color stainless steel with a laser. Okay, I've added some parameters. I've shifted some things, and we are going to start over. This one's going to take longer. This one's going to take about the last one overran by about 8 minutes. This one is going to probably overrun. It says 37 minutes. No, it says 55 minutes, but it's probably going to take an hour and a half. Maybe not an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. We'll see. So this is the result from the first test, and it warped it a little bit on this corner, but it warped it the opposite direction that it's warped now. I got some impressive colors, but I didn't get the range that I was expecting. I should be able to get a better yellow and a better red out of this. So I shifted this. I did more squares this way, and I added squares this way, and I shifted the pattern this direction a little bit. I should have maybe shifted it down a little. So I turned it over and I burned it again, trying to hold the light so you can see it better. I mean, hold the angle so you can see it better. But I got a fair amount of colors in it here. This is the only one that has any black, but you can see where it really warped the piece. And looking at this side, you can see you can almost see the outside outlines of the squares, because I was running 90% power out here. But I got a nice black. This cobalt blue is absolutely gorgeous. I got a nice teal, a really nice purple right above the cobalt blue. It's hard to tell what color that is, but it's more of a red than anything else down here at the lower left corner. I got to tell you, I'm impressed. That's really cool. What this tells me is I need to do more testing, and so I'm going to have to go source some more material. I had all of these colors set to power and speed according to this. I've got this framed on my workpiece. It's going to take nearly 4 hours to do. Okay, I've learned two things from this test. One is you can't do a standard fill scan and get the colors that you want. When this thing burned, it burned each one of these squares one at a time. Well, I didn't do that. I'm still learning a lot about Lightburn every day. The default in Lightburn is to scan everything at once, going back and forth like this. I've got one particular layer set, and I told it to fill, not offset fill. I told it to fill, and I told it to to fill each spot individually. So we'll see if that makes a difference. I should be getting blue. Unless I screwed it up with sanding it, this should be a really pretty royal blue. And doing it this way is the way it did it on the test piece. So I'm hopeful this fixes my issue. I'm getting different shades of something, but I'm not getting any colors out of this at all. I got a variety of hues, but they weren't really the colors I was after. The blues and the purples didn't show up, the reds didn't show up, the green didn't show up. So it's, and it's probably my fault because I sanded this. I didn't do the black border because it's going to put more heat in there than I want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, I'm going to clean it with lacquer thinner, screw it back down. Okay, let's try this again. It says it's going to take 1.5 hours. I bet it takes a little longer than that. Well, to say that I'm disappointed would be an understatement. The closest thing I got to blue were these two over here. I don't know what I did wrong, if anything. It's still pretty, it's just not what I wanted. So yes, you can color stainless steel and you can get some pretty vivid colors. However, stainless steel is very expensive and it takes a lot of trial and error and a lot of research. So you have to burn a lot of test pieces in order to get these kind of colors consistently. I was not able to do that in the two pieces that I have, but yes, it will color stainless steel. So let's check this enclosure out. What do you say? The instructions, relatively simple. And all of the tubes or rods are numbered. So, and these numbers here show you what does what. So let me get this installed and, put together. No need in showing you that. It's pretty simple. So the frame went together super easy, really. And it comes so that you can put the fan on either side of the enclosure. Zippers work nicely. And here in a little bit, we'll put it to the test. And if for some reason you need it out of the way, you're going to be doing some engraving that doesn't really create a lot of smoke or whatever, and you want it out of the way, you just pick it up and set it off to the side. And these zippers go back all the way, so you can really open this thing up. And how well does the little fan work? I don't know yet, but we're going to find out in a little bit, in a little while, because I'm going to start a special project just for this test. I'm going to do a layered piece that I designed. The only negative I can see at the moment is that this might not be tall enough to accommodate the camera when I add it, because I am going to add a camera. Okay, I have the camera inside the enclosure and I've got it zipped up. So let's start this burn and see how well it pulls the smoke out. You can see it's filling with smoke pretty quickly, and I can smell it here in the shop. It does pull smoke out, but it don't do it very efficiently. I have now tucked the hose for the enclosure into my smoke heater intake to keep the smoke out of the shop. That may also help pull more of the smoke out, because that little fan just wasn't doing it. You can see how much smoke is in there. But with the hose from the enclosure stuck into my smoke heater hose, I'm not getting any more smoke in the shop, so that's good. And it is clearing it out better. I'm going to let it run about 5 more minutes to get the smoke out before I open it. I don't want to fill the shop up. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. I can open it up now. It looks clear enough, I think. Only because I'm pulling with my big smoke eater. That exhaust fan right there, it is just too weak to get the job done. I mean, it works. It does move the smoke. The only problem is you're going to have to wait 15-20 minutes after you burn something to open the enclosure, otherwise you're going to fill your house or your room or your shop or whatever you're using your laser in with smoke, and that's not a good thing. So let's see what this looks like. That's going to be awesome. Wait till you see the rest of it. I'm going to continue with the test of my layered project. I have the fan on the enclosure running, but I also have it tucked into my big smoke heater hose, and I have it running as well, so it'll evacuate the smoke faster. Okay, we got a nice clean burn out of that. The edges look really nice. Not a whole lot of charring. Nice clean burn, solid edges. This is 100% CPO, not plywood. 5mm African mahogany.
Okay, there's another piece. Again, African mahogany. Yeah, these aren't very big, but you'll see where they go. That's what it was supposed to look like. And this is what it looks like with the finish on. I like doing these kind of layered projects. I think they're cool. This laser does a really fine job of making that happen. Okay, I have machined these teak blocks so that they're dead flat. So I'm going to put them under my leg and hope I can get this laser up high enough to be able to work with the rotary tool. So let's see if that'll work. Now, I have absolutely no experience with a rotary device, so y'all are just going to have to bear with me. They include this nice little ruler, which I'm assuming, because of its flexibility, will let you measure how round your object is. So yeah, this is a nice flexible rule in both inches and millimeters. So this is the rotary tool. It looks well machined, nice and sturdy, powder coated. The one thing I don't really care for with this particular laser, you have to unplug the y-axis, which is the one that takes it this way. So you have to unplug the y-axis and plug this wire into the y-axis and into the rotary tool. It would be so much nicer if they just put like a splitter switch so that you could just switch it and go. What's not a good thing is that this little opening here is almost not big enough for my fat fingers. Okay, I've got it propped up. I've got something in Lightburn to engrave on this glass. I've spray painted it flat black. Setting up the rotary was relatively easy. Just follow the instructions in the included manual, and let's see how this works. I've already framed it. I'll show you what that looks like. And we will click start. Okay, and just like that, it's done. Let me move the laser out of the way. Move this back a little. Loosen this. All right, well, let me go clean the paint off and we'll see what it looks like. I like it. I cleaned it up with lacquer thinner and some denatured alcohol. We'll run it through the dishwasher before I give it to my daughter, but I like it. So yes, you can engrave glass with the Falcon 2 22-watt laser. Okay, I have my personal tumbler set up here. I'm going to attempt to engrave something on it. Actually, it won't be doing anything to the stainless, but it should be cutting through the powder coat. I've got everything set up, I think. We're just going to hit start and go. That's done. It's a little bigger and larger than I intended, but that's me. I'm big and large. So let me clean this up and I'll come back. Okay, I thought this might have been just ash from the powder coat, but it isn't. I believe it actually colored the stainless steel. We've already seen that it will do that, but that's okay. I like it. So what can you do with a Creality Falcon 2 22-watt laser, or 40 even? Well, you can engrave on stainless and you can get some pretty cool colors. Unfortunately, I was not able to duplicate those colors on this piece. It's largely my fault because of how I treated it, but it's still, I mean, it made a really pretty engraving on this piece of stainless. A little more practice and you get it down. I showed you the enclosure. I really like it. It's in its permanent place of abode now, and it will be used, and I've set my camera up so that I can use it too. Like I said, the exhaust fan is a little weak, but because I have a big fan that I will be connecting to an extraction box, it's going to suck it out just fine. You might look at upgrading yours if that's the only means of pulling the smoke out that you have. It engraves on glass and it does it relatively nicely. I'll be doing more of these. You can engrave on tumblers that are powder coated or painted or whatever. I made this one a little large, but I'm a big and large guy. And you can do more intricate pieces like this owl or any other layered projects. And I've got a bunch of those that I want to do. And you'll be seeing more of this stuff as we go along as well. All in all, I'm very happy with it. Do I recommend it? Absolutely, 100%. So those are some of the things that you can do. All the pros: it cuts 15 millimeter wood without an issue. It engraves on any number of things: slate, wood, whatever, glass, stainless steel, I suppose maybe titanium. It will cut stainless and aluminum, 0.05 thickness is all, but it still cuts it. And it lets you create a number of really cool things. And I showed you the rotary device. I used it to engrave on this glass, and I used it to do the engraving on this tumbler. The rotary works great. Now we'll get into the cons. The rotary did not come with extension legs, which is kind of weird because the downgraded version of it does, the one with the rollers instead of the chuck. The only other negative thing I have to say is I've already talked about the fan on this enclosure. It's just too weak to really pull the smoke out. It will over time, but very often if you're in a shop environment or a production environment, time's an issue. You've got to account for that. And while it's not really a con, it's more of a nuisance, and that's this. I mean, I like using this, and I'm not saying they need to put some kind of retractable system on the laser head, but it would be nice if there was a place to store this without losing it or without it falling all the time. This thing keeps getting lost or keeps falling or whatever. It's just more of a nuisance than anything else. So my impressions. Overall, I'm very, very pleased with this laser. It does what it's supposed to do. By and large, it meets all the claims. So would I recommend the Creality Falcon 2? Absolutely, 100%. So how do you get your own? Well, you click the link in the description below. You'll save 35 to 40% on your purchase. It's a nice system. I'm really happy with it. No question. So thanks for watching. I'll have another turning project out really soon, I promise. Y'all have a great day.